This is your daily market review for Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at XP Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market review for Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024. The second day of the month, the quarter. Not looking strong. Got a little buy-in at the end of the day. Not surprised. New money, new month, new quarter coming in. However, the action, as we've talked about, it's been sloppy and choppy for weeks. Some names leading, some names not. Leader starting to lag, lagger starting to lead. A lot of things that to me say, be careful. We've talked about this. Again, a lot of people are chasing the dips every time. And I warn folks aggressively, if you see gap downs and gap ups during the first and last 3 business days of the month after a big move in one direction that goes in the opposite direction, you need to be careful. This could be a pro gap and the start of a down move. How big? We'll see. Again, we'll talk about that and we'll figure it out as it goes along, but not surprised by the pullback. Maybe a little, I don't know, there's supposed to be bullishness this time of year. Go look at the Stock Traders Almanac. It's not looking like it. So if you have any questions, please reach out. Always here to help. If you'd like to chat, use the link for the Discord room is in the description below. Also, hit me up on Calendly if you want to check out the website, thetradingagent.com. I apologize, everything's slow. Oh, come on. There we go. Let's get it all going. Check it out. I have a ton of information there. Again, you get the Discord link, updates. Here you go. Recommended reading. Get your interactive brokerage link. I'm telling you, if you're in Schwab, I'd be looking to get the heck out. And then also Marcus. So let me know how it can help. Follow on the Twitter, always posting the trades, thoughts, ideas. Again, I apologize for the Discord room members that it doesn't connect anymore automatically. So make sure you're following. Interesting times, to say the least, right? So let's go into the CME Fed futures. We talked about the May meeting at this point. It's not showing anything, right? But June is where you see the cut. And it's anything over 65% is likely going to happen. The Feds are not in the game of really messing with people. Bitcoin, why do you always do this? Bitcoin, as we talked about, a little suspect, right? I don't know why it's taking so long. But my computer has been acting slow today. We talked about the levels, it getting stuck between. And if you've been watching, right, you know what I'm talking about. We'll come back to it. Oil, I mean, this has got to be frustrating the Feds. I mean, they are stuck in a pickle. This feels so 1970s. And natural gas, as we talked about, I like the range down here. Again, I don't think there's a ton of downside. If the market does pull back, do not be surprised if it comes back to that. But at that point, just be careful. And here we go. We talked about Bitcoin. At this point, it's probably going to be digesting, worst case scenario for bulls, this move. And in best case, I mean, like worst case, I mean, it could pull back into the 40,000. So anyway. If you have any questions, again, let me know how I can help. Let's get into some of the other charts. The dollar, we talked about, been holding up pretty well. Had a nice, decent little run. Keep an eye on it. TLT, as we talked about, bonds are putting some pressure on the market. Do not ignore this, right? We did hold the range lows, which is interesting. Again, it's like where all these gaps are. That's why I have it. It's the bottom of the VAP zone. Keep an eye on that. I think that is a real thing right there. Potentially holding. But also, too, if the bonds get blown out, I mean, it could get wild. The VIX, as we talked about, waking up. I mean, you typically get these gap ups. They're not one-day events. We've talked about that. More likely than not, they're multi-day events. I mean, it's still only 15. It's really not that high, folks. VIXN holding, looks in the 18s in the VIVIX. Check it out, holding the lows. SPY pulls back. We talked about it potentially double topping and then said, hey, watch the 20-day. You're welcome. 20-day, spot on. Again, leave a comment below, follow, like. I appreciate it because, again, I want people, hopefully they're seeing this stuff. QQQ, we talked about double top needs to close over the 20-day. Man, you close right at it. How fun is that? How confusing, right? IWM, as we talked about, did not like this candle and then the bar, and then you have the gap downs. Like these gap downs, and again, go back to SPY, you can't like these but in the first of the month. Because if you see them, I mean, the last real big pullback, here you go, was another like first of the month kind of thing, right? That was an OPEX. But then you also see bottoms around the first of the month, right? And that's the thing, fund flows. We talk about this. If you're new to the channel, you're like, what the fudge are you talking about? I'm telling you, it's a real thing. 20-day, keep an eye on it, right? QQQ dia starting, we talked about this one, right? Like looking like a little double top, needs to hold this, and then boom, gap down below, but holding 20-day. Good old gold. All right, here we go. Breaking out, confirmed. Looks pretty good. Again, I personally, I mean, this is what's interesting. Bitcoin up, gold down. I thought they were supposed to do the same thing. I guess not. This is where it could be confusing. Again, if you own physical like we've recommended, I mean, that's been the game in my opinion. Hold the physical for a while. And at this point going forward, trade around it. I mean, again, I personally think the easiest time will be when the Feds go full QE, because this has probably got some launch rocket now. We finally got silver to break over with volume like that. I mean, this is the thing. Like we talked about, like you need to get over this 23 area with volume. If the volume keeps pumping, silver's got legs. GDX, we talked about getting up to this like 32 area. Okay, let's see the follow through. Got the volume. Can we get the follow through? And again, I personally believe like the easiest time to buy miners will be in the Fed's pivot. But you have to remember, like if the liquidity comes out of the market, it could run into these names. But 9 times out of 10, what I've seen, if the VIX spikes to extreme levels, there's credit issues, banking issues, miners get caught in the whirlwind of that because again, they're part of the market. They're a liquidity exit plan for people potentially. And again, credit. If credit tightens, these companies get, I mean, they get thrown the baby with the bathwater. So good levels though. Again, it could be a near-term trade, could be about to break out. I mean, again, I'm personally just gonna be a little patient. And again, and this is the thing. People are like, why are you patient? It's like, man, we've been recommending physical for so long. And meaning so long, just being patient on it, sitting on it. And at this point, this is where I think this is where the trading of the paper game will be wild and loose. And I have no problem with gold, silver, all these names do lift. Again, I'll play the trades later on. I have no doubt. No doubt. AEM, same kind of thing. But here's the thing. If they do go high and you are in them, just raise your stops. It doesn't mean that you can't do it. I mean, I think that's the hardest thing that when I talk about this, like, doesn't mean you can't do it. Just be careful. Just don't chase. Newmont, we talked about down here being a bottom. At worst, probably going to chop around. We'll see what happens. PAAS, chopping, holding up pretty dang well. Let's get into the tech names because, again, this is where, to me, the rubber meets the road. The easiest trade is going to be short tech, in my opinion. Taiwan Semi, 140s. Watch this area because these names have just gone insane. Micron, we talked about this longer wick. I mean, I wouldn't short Micron personally. So just be careful. Be careful on that. AMD, this is the one, again, we talked about this one. This one's been stuck in this range. I mean, to me, it looks worse. NVIDIA, we talked about how it wasn't confirmed when the market was making new highs. Now we're below the 20-day. Keep an eye on it. SMCI stuck between this like 1,000 to 1,100 level. Be careful. That's all I can say. Just ten cuidado, right? Intellectual property, we talked about after the China headlines. These all rallied. All right, here it goes. Maybe starting to give it back. And SMH, we said yesterday's wick was kind of wicked, and it didn't follow through. Now you're at the 20-day again, chopping around. Just keep an eye on it. Adobe, this thing has been a dead cat bounce, and then just chopping around. I mean, this doesn't look good. Again, this is where I think tech, again, will lead down. Apple, lead down, right? Has no upside. I mean, it's just stuck here in the 170s. Amazon holding up. To get a credit where certain credits do, right? Holding up, riding the channel. Meta, nice bounce back today. I thought it was about to break, but nope, didn't. Held the 20-day area. Keep an eye on it. CRM, bounce back into the close. Not too bad. Again, 20 days key. Google, we talked about this, like this 153 area, watching what happens. Now you've got a lower high. I would watch these references. I'd be watching the 155 area because I think that makes sense to short with tight stops. Just keep it simple, tight and simple. Microsoft, this is a name where you think it would be breaking out, about to go nuts. Then it's just chopping around. I mean, these names kind of look scary in the sense of like, ooh, some big movie could be coming. NDAQ, we talked about this being a joke. I mean, I personally just, it is a joke in my opinion that this is going to hold up. But at this point, here you go now. Hits the range highs and then quick. So keep an eye on this. MSTR, we've talked about MicroStrategy. Again, I posted this morning watching this area and it held. Nice, 20-day. So far, so good. I mean, again, it's a Bitcoin, obviously, proxy. So if Bitcoin doesn't rally, don't be surprised. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised by, again, I think this area matters. I'd be watching this area. That's next. I mean, I guess let's draw some fibs because this move could be over near term. Because if Bitcoin now digests the move that it just put on, yeah, look at that. The 50% fib is right there. That's what I'd be looking for. Hopefully that helps for my friends who are in the crypto. Netflix and Spill has been holding up 20-day. Roblox is just sad. Just nothing. Pan W, I like this coming down. We talked about this, the 200-day. But I don't like it when the VIX is at the 15 level. I do believe that Nancy Pelosi has the ability to see the future, that a cyber security threat is coming. I'm just curious. Again, I mean, she probably has calls out till next year. So does it mean I have to rally this year? No. Or this now? No. But worth watching these levels. We like the 200-day. Tesla gaps down today. Sorry. Airbnb. This is, again, where some of these names are starting to look a little suspect. Look at that gap down. That's a huge gap down. Not to say it can't chop around, but that to me feels like a top. Costco, 20-day. We talked about gapping down on earnings. I mean, new lows. See down in the upper 600s. Keep an eye on that one. Starbucks, we talked about this being dead. Oh, and then it finally goes, right? Like, this is where I was watching this low area here. Watch the 89. I mean, if this breaks, you got room to fall. FedEx, I mean, was really praying it would fill the gap up here. Nope. Then it gaps down. Not so pretty. Caterpillar, nice rally into the close again, holding up pretty well. I mean, if gold materials hold up, I mean, Caterpillar's a benefit, right? You got to dig this crap out of the ground, right? Nucor, chopping around. X. I mean, these all names have been holding up pretty well. X, we talked about not getting bought out. VALE. I mean, this might be your secret, your special sauce down here. I mean, this could be a trade down here easily with the defined risk. I mean, you could go long that. Arrow, we talked about copper. Need to get over this 19 area. Cleared it. CCJ. And again, this is what struggled. Like Goldman's recommending this stuff. And it's like, is this a trap or is this real? Either way, it's holding up pretty darn well. Ag names kind of chopping, slopping. Nothing much. Mosaic, chopping. NTR, we've talked about these. I mean, you like ag long term. AA, we talked about this one. This is interesting because it definitely got up into this, 35, maybe 38. Again, this is the thing. These have a long term. I'm incredibly bullish commodities. I've been very clear about that. I just think it's going to be easier when the VIX spikes and people throw out the baby with the bathwater. Now, it doesn't mean that these names can't hold up well. I just think there's going to be some trades. The FAS, I mean, I'm talking about XLF, people just, you're going to continue to short financials. I'm like, man, I'm holding my FAS, just chilling out up here, waiting. And it makes sense. These are the names that hold all the risk. JP Morgan, right? Watch the 8-day, 10-day chopping. Morgan Stanley, this has been a dog. Just lagging, but it's back up in the upper range. Bank of America holding up pretty darn well. Credit where credit's due. And then Goldman Sachs, right? Interesting little gap down today. A slightly higher high. I mean, this could be a bull trap. Just keep an eye because it's really tough to trust financials. Look at the juniors. They look so gosh darn terrible. Can't get over the 50 level. Gaps down. Now it's below the 100-day. You got to keep an eye on it. And again, here's XBI. Like talking about junior bios. I mean, anything junior is not acting well. Like even the IWM. Look at this. I mean, big gap down. You better hold. I mean, it better hold. If you're a bull, you better hope that's a trap. Solar, talked about any pop is a gift. Gap down. Sedge, same kind of thing. Chopping around. ENPH finally starting to break below the 200-day. Now it's got the 100-day and the docket. I mean, that's the next one's got to hold. First Solar. We talked about watching these 170s, holding the 200-day. I mean, it's typically a sloppy choppy, but I mean, you've got the references now. When I say sloppy choppy, meaning topish action. HYG, again, I'm impressed anyone was buying corporate debt. You got to be high out of your freaking mind. Gaps down today, holds the 100-day. All right, let's get into oil and gas because last but not least, holding up. Little Doge action today. I was watching that. I mean, I personally, again, I don't think if you've got big profits, just roll up your stops. That's all. UNG, I mean, again, we've talked about the KOLD short is the ideal on massive pops. Watch the 20-day. I mean, man, it's holding tight. Holding. XOP, because this is where, again, we watch the oil and gas names, right? Check this out, right? Here you go. Is it going? Is it first of the month chasing or is it going? And this is where we talked about, you got just, if you've got profits, ten cuidado. If you have profits, maybe buy out of the money calls to kind of hedge and handle it. But you've got references here. I mean, if this is going, keep in mind, ExxonMobil's been in a huge choppy range. Same thing with like Occidental, big choppy, sloppy ranges. If they're about to break out, they're going to go. Man, that wick a little scary today on Oxy. Keep in mind, just keep an eye on that, right? CVE's been holding up. We talked about this 20 area is going to be potentially an issue. We'll see. I mean, it could go. Valero, I mean, these gasoline names, I thought they were due to pull back. Man, going green means going green with these candles. Holy crap, they look strong, right? We talked about that. ExxonMobil, EQT, chopping around. Some of these gas names, a little sloppy, choppy. Flex LNG last again, because I think we will be natural gas exporters over time. So if you have any questions, please reach out. Always here to help. Let me know what you need, especially when it comes to the markets. I mean, it's not going to be easy. Also, too, if you got any real estate goals, whether you're looking to buy, sell, invest in real estate, you need help finding an agent, you need some understanding what's going on in the market, please don't hesitate to reach out. This is literally what I'm doing, boots on the ground all the time, and also love trading. Appreciate all the love, support, generous donations. You guys are amazing. Have a wonderful evening. I'll talk to you soon.